On today's show,
the Warriors gear up for Durant's return, the Blazers lose Nurkic to a leg injury, and the Magic's offseason plans get leaked.
Up-down on Chris Webber being snubbed from the Hall of Fame, and Washington feeling they were disrespected by Golden State.
And we got a classic doinker in a brand new edition of Weekend Whoopsies.
It's Tuesday, April 4th. The starter starts now.
Good evening, Sweet World, and welcome to The Starters, presented by Jack Daniel's Tennessee Honey. Whether you're listening to the podcast, joining us live on NBA TV, later on YouTube, we're very, very happy to have all of you. I'm Jay Skeets, and alongside me, as always, that's Tass Mellis.
That was a smooth start.
To his right, the international man of mystery, taking it to the max, Lee Ellis.
Friend.
Lily, and last, certainly not least, over there, it is the bearded one, Trey Kirby.
Hey-o!
Hey-yo! TK, what's up?
Well, I'm here at the internet looking for your best tweets at #TheStarters, and guys, baseball is back!
Woo!
That's right, the MLB season started over the weekend, and who doesn't love the crack of the bat and the sweet smell of the grass? But what does this have to do with the NBA? Well, the Braves are opening a new park here in Atlanta, and earlier today on Twitter, they got a famous NBA face to address one of the main questions they've been getting about the new park.
We've heard parking may be an issue.
Parking? The best franchise in all of baseball, and we're in here talking about parking. Not the game, but parking.
Yep, that's Allen Iverson spoofing his classic practice rant to tell people about parking at the new Braves Stadium. Don't know why this happened, but it did. And it brings us to today's question. Which NBA player would be the best at baseball? For instance, I think Maurice Spates might be a great pitcher because he throws some of the best baseball passes in the NBA right now. Great arm. I think John Wall might be a great center fielder. Very fast, tall, a lot of range in the outfield. And honestly, we've been calling this guy Bip Roberts for so long, I'm pretty sure Hornets backup guard Brian Roberts could win a gold glove at second base. But we want to hear from you, so let us know on Twitter which NBA players would be the best at baseball. Send us your best tweets to #TheStarters. We'll hear from you later, and shout out to Bip Roberts.
Yeah,
shout out to the
Roberts.
Bipster.
All right, get your tweets in, guys. We got a fun show tonight. We'll tackle a few topics in the up-down report, and we have a day-late edition of Weekend Whoopsies, but it's just as great as it usually is. We start, though, with a little Is This News. Trey's rounded up some recent NBA headlines. He's going to pitch them to us, and we'll determine whether or not they're actually newsworthy. Trey, our first headline.
Our first headline comes to us from ESPN, and it reads, Warriors circle Saturday for Kevin Durant's comeback. Is this news?
This is incredible news. Kevin Durant is coming back to a team that's won 11 in a row.
Yep.
They're basically peaking at the exact right time. He gets 3 games before the postseason.
In theory, yep.
And I just feel like the Golden State Warriors, you know, they've had about a 3-year run here on top of the NBA world. I don't think there's been a bigger gap between them and the field than this point right now. I don't know if any team really feels like confidently, obviously you believe that you're going to beat them, but confidently believe that they could beat the Warriors in a 7-game series right now. It just seems pretty bleak for the other 29 teams.
You don't think there's any worry of actually bringing back, even if he's Kevin Durant, to a team that's rolling like they are right now, and Steph Curry playing the way he is right now, and everyone just sort of looking like a well-oiled machine? No worries there? You're bringing back an all-NBA type player?
I can't get worried about an MVP who played really well with this team.
Right.
It's not like they were 21-21 with Kevin Durant out there. They were still the best team in basketball.
Yeah, Steve Kerr said he's not worried about incorporating him back into the lineup, but he will be on a minutes restriction. And you just wonder, maybe that first game he brings him off the bench just to get him back into game shape that way. Probably won't if he's ready to go, but they did lose 5 of 7 when he first went down before they went on that 11-game winning streak. So they definitely felt the effect of when he was out there. Then they got things back on track, incorporating him 3 games before the playoffs. I mean, you think they're just going to hit that first round pretty much ready to go.
And this is the best case scenario. When the injury happened, everyone's like, oh man, if he is out for the season, including the playoffs, can they even get back to the finals? Can they win a championship? Then we got the news, okay, it's probably going to be 4 to 6 weeks. And basically, they told us, we'll tell you in 4 weeks, we'll reevaluate him and tell you where he is. That's exactly what the Warriors did, and we've seen him practicing, and he looks good. And here he's going to hopefully come back this weekend and get a couple reps in, which I think is pretty big, even if he is on limited minutes, just to get into the flow of things before you get into the first round, which will ultimately also be sort of a warm-up session. No offense to the Blazers or Nuggets, but they're probably not going to be beating the Warriors.
Yeah, when we're talking about approximately a 66-win team, whoever it is coming out of that 8th spot, it doesn't really compare. And those 8th-place teams also have some big problems of their own.
Right. All right, Trey, next one. It's news.
All right, our next headline comes from NBA.com, and it says Portland Trailblazers lose Jusuf Nurkic with leg fracture. Is this news?
Could be. Big news for the Blazers. They've been fantastic with him, and without him in that lineup, it does leave a bit of a gap for them. Noah Vonleh's come in. He's been playing okay, but Nurkic in the month of March, 16 points, 11 rebounds, 50% shooting, and the Blazers 13-3 with him out there. Their offensive rating when he was on the floor, 3rd in the league. The defensive rating, 9th in the league. So he was having a big impact on that team, and now they are going to have to cope without him. Probably they've got enough breathing space between them and Denver to hold on, but it's going to be tight.
I don't think it's news in terms of the 8th place race. I do agree that they're going to hold on to that 8th spot, considering they have the tiebreaker with the Nuggets. Even though their schedule isn't that easy down the stretch, the Nuggets' schedule isn't easy either. Where I do think it's news is that Jusuf Nurkic has been playing extremely well for him. Won't be back until, if lucky, game 1 of the postseason.
Yeah,
and they've got to be rolling if they're going to take on a Golden State Warriors team and play them well. That's where it is news. You got to surprise the Warriors. Maybe Kevin Durant's not great in game 1 or game 2.
Yeah.
But now Jusuf Nurkic won't be great.
Maybe
either way.
if he's even there.
Yes.
This is a big guy, and any sort of leg injury is not easy to bounce back. Obviously, in a fracture there. I agree with you guys, though. I think they sort of keep the Nuggets at bay. I think that tiebreaker was huge. That game they played last week was absolutely massive because the Nuggets really have to surpass them in the standings. But I mean, you saw last night they played the Wolves, and they went small. I mean, they went with Aminu as their 5 because they don't have a lot of traditional bigs. Noah Vonleh and Myers Leonard with all the injuries. Ed Davis out. Festus Ezeli hasn't played. Obviously now Nurkic. But going small is fine against some teams. But you look at their schedule. They got to face Rudy Gobert twice. Again, Karl Anthony Towns, who went off in the 4th quarter last night and was a beast to try and contain. You also got San Antonio's big line of Gasol and Aldridge. And you got the Brow and Boogie there of the Pelicans. Those are some big teams, which are not the best teams maybe to go small. Or maybe you do and you just hope you shoot them out of the gym. So it'll be interesting to see sort of the next 2 weeks what they do there, Terry Stotts.
Yeah, Al-Farouq Aminu's nickname is the Chief, but he's not like Robert Parrish, the Chief.
He's not that big.
He's not that big. He shouldn't be playing the 5. But as you said, Jusuf Nurkic, I wonder how great a shape he stays in with these 2 weeks off.
Right.
You know, you said he's a big guy. I like that there's 2 bigs in there because he's huge.
Yeah.
He's a really big man. Is he going to be...
He's a beast.
Is he going to be ready to... He is the Bosnian beast. Is he going to be ready to play with the Warriors going to be running up and down if they get there?
We'll see. All right, final one, Trey.
All right, our final headline comes from Bleacher Report, and it reads, Magic's apparent offseason trade targets leaked in tweet. Is this news?
This is a fascinating story.
This is
Leaked
great.
in tweet.
Yeah.
We always have this worry up in our office. Maybe we leak our tweets on our whiteboard.
Yeah. So there it is. I mean, everyone saw this by now.
It's been deleted though, so it's fine.
But in the background of, I'm sorry, this player, I don't even know who was signed, this Argentine. It's not really important to the story.
Kind of looks like me, yeah.
But the board there, you're seeing, in theory, you're seeing sort of the Magic's plans for the offseason.
Sure.
A whole lot of hot names in terms of forwards and hybrid forwards and free agents and stuff like that. That's the thing. Is it news because there's a million names on that list?
Yeah, every team would have a list of desirables like that. It's just the fact that it got published the way that it did, especially that the fact that they were trying to maybe look into getting Dario Saric for Aaron Gordon.
That's the interesting part. The whole list part I don't really care about. Someone's shouting out names and they're putting them on the board and they're like, hey, hopefully we can go get Paul Millsap. Wow, breaking news, you want a good player. But by Saric there is the bracket for AG, Aaron Gordon, you're led to believe. And that, that's saying maybe in theory, could we trade Aaron Gordon for Dario Saric? Now, the Magic have come out and Rob Hennigan, the Magic GM, have said, look, you're reading too much into this, and we're not doing this, and the Sixers have said we're not trading Saric. So there's probably no trade here, but that's an embarrassment. I mean, because now you got to go to Aaron Gordon and his agent and say, okay, look, this isn't happening, or whatever you say, right? It's just sad.
I mean, the Magic haven't been good for a long time, so they obviously do need some reinforcements and some better players in there. But Aaron Gordon, they've drafted him. He's developing.
They drafted Dario Saric.
Yeah.
Want to go get him back. Yeah.
I'm going to guess those names have been up there for a long time. I would guess if somebody tried to go erase one of those, it'd be tough to erase. You might need a little lubricant to erase it. I would imagine that Aaron Gordon line there was there before Serge Ibaka got traded. Because
we don't know.
I wouldn't assume that they'd trade both.
But it doesn't look good for a Magic front office that was already on the hot seat. I think we can agree with that. Even though they didn't tweet the photo, it was the agent of that player, but that's just bad timing on their part because things are not already going well for them. All right, coming up, did the Warriors disrespect the Wizards over the weekend? We'll debate that and more in the Up Down Report. Don't go anywhere.
The Starters on NBA TV is brought to you by Jack Daniel's Tennessee Honey, proud partner of the NBA. Do your friends proud. Please drink responsibly.
Into the Up-Down Report, where the four of us figure out where we stand on some hot-button NBA topics. Ask you to do the same on Twitter. Hashtag the Starters, thumbs up or thumbs down. Our first one, the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame announced its class of 2017 on Saturday, and Tracy McGrady is in. Congrats to T-Mac, who led the league in scoring twice, 7-time All-Star. However, Chris Webber was not inducted. Finalists needed 18 of 24 votes from the Honors Committee to be inducted, so C-Web apparently came up short. Guys, are you up or down on Webber not making the Hall of Fame this season?
come
I
on.
wasn't going to be surprised by this one.
Now we're getting picky about guys getting in. Just let them in.
20-10 guy for 15 years, 5-time All-NBA, can't get in.
Legendary college career as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah,
Get him in.
A bit of an infamous college.
Yeah, but a legendary
That might be a
team
bit of
in
a
terms of a
You're
cultural
preaching. You're
sort of
preaching, man.
icon, right?
What are you thinking?
Definitely, but he was a top 10 player in the league for a huge portion
Mm-hmm.
of his career. He's got 5 All-NBA teams, which is super impressive considering the forwards he played with just in his conference were KG, Tim Duncan, and Dirk Nowitzki for basically his entire
That's a
career.
great point.
And he's still making All-NBA teams. Chris Webber was great when he played. I'm sure he'll get in. I guess he just has to wait another year.
hope
Zach
so.
Lowe had an article on Chris Webber. It was from a couple of years ago back at Grant Ladd, making a case for him. And he points out some of the things, wasn't a great defender, but perhaps almost a little too unselfish as well, because he was a great
Sometimes, yeah.
passer with incredible ball vision, and perhaps that counted against him. But I'm shocked that he didn't.
He's taking the right steps to get in this thing, right? Because he went from not even being a finalist to now being a finalist, just not getting the 18 of the 24 votes. Hopefully he gets back on that ballot again, is a finalist again, of course, and then gets the votes. And I think that will happen. You said he joins Hall of Famers Will Chamberlain, Larry Bird, Elgin Baylor, and Billy Cunningham as the only guys in NBA history to average at least 20 points, 9 boards, and 4 assists for their entire career. Those are Hall of Fame legends. Those are some unbelievable numbers, especially from the power forward position.
Yeah.
Assists alone.
9.8 rebounds, I think it was. So, I mean, that's...
Okay, you're rounding up.
I'm just saying,
Yeah,
like
man.
20 and
Round
10.
up, John Schumann. Let's do it. I got you. All right, moving on here. The Wizards think the Warriors were being disrespectful for the way they played at the end of Sunday's 139-115 blowout. Dubs up 22 points near the end of the game. JaVale McGee goes to shoot a three-pointer. Brandon Jennings not happy about it. He shoved McGee to the ground, assessed a flagrant 1 foul. It was very disrespectful, Jennings said after the game. John Wall, he echoed those comments. Are you guys up or down on the Wizards calling the Warriors disrespectful for how they played at the end of that game?
I gotta go down. JaVale McGee could have held that shot.
Yeah.
He could have, but they went on to say that Draymond Green and Steph Curry shouldn't have been in the game at that point. When the previous timeout before that was 2:07, they're only up 13. They should still be playing. And yeah, JaVale McGee could have just held the ball, but I never shoot threes.
Yeah.
Let me fire one.
This is his 10th attempt in his career. What do you want him to just take the turnover? The guy's 1 for 10 on threes in his career. This is about the same.
I guess there was still 5 seconds left on the shot clock and about 7 left on the game. Maybe if you ran it down to that very last second, it would have made a difference. I don't know.
It's okay.
Well, because I know the code. Oh, you're not supposed to shoot in that. But then again,
and
you're
Steve
getting
Kerr also apologized.
yeah,
for
and
that
you're
code.
also getting embarrassed anyway in the game by being down 22. So it's like, you can't really then say, well, they shouldn't have shot that last one. We gave up 139 points.
This whole
that's
code
what he's
stuff,
mad
this
about.
whole code stuff that the Wizards were saying, though, it's completely bogus because the Wizards have done this 3 times already this year. An NBA Reddit user went back, looked at all the Wizards games where they're up 20 or more points and times they've shot 3-pointers in the last second scenarios. So, yeah, they got killed, but the Wizards lead the league. They lead the league in 3-point attempts when they're up 20 points.
In disrespect.
Or more with less than 10 seconds to go.
Yeah.
And this is it. These are the instances right here. And again, shout out to the NBA Reddit user @boogie. These are the incidents. Like, this is what they're upset about.
Yeah.
So
that's why they don't write
can't
down
be
the
upset about
unwritten
it.
rules, because they're very
Exactly,
dumb.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
they're down to interpretation, depending on who's on the wrong end of it at the wrong time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they got clowned. They're upset about it. That's
Yeah.
fine. I actually have no problems with what Jennings did. That's the funny part.
Yeah, I
if
mean,
you
if
feel
you're
you're
a
being
Wiz-
disrespected, send a message, I
Yeah.
guess, but don't whine about it after the game.
And you're a Wizards teammate, you probably don't mind.
No.
A little
no.
shove.
I got no problem with that. All right, moving on here. Final one, guys. The NBA continues to overhaul how its end of season awards are decided. The major change this year is the removal of team employed media members, like team broadcasters, from voting for honors such as MVP, Rookie of the Year, All NBA nods, and so on. So this is a big move here by the NBA. Are you guys up or down on the NBA removing team employed media from voting on these type of awards? Thumbs up
Yeah. Look
at all
across
those
the board.
thumbs.
Unanimous.
It took a little. It probably took longer than it needed to, right?
Yeah.
It should have been removed a couple years ago.
I think it's a good decision because you've got a natural bias when you're a broadcaster, especially if you're on the payroll of a team and you see these guys around and you go, hey, that's my guy, I want to vote for him. And now it does put a little bit more objectivity into the voting.
Of course. It's like you're voting for a colleague, right? I mean, I would find it extremely difficult not to have confirmation bias. I watched this guy 82 times, but I watched a guy that, let's say I'm a Raptors employee, I watched Kyle Lowry 82 times. Kyrie Irving is up for the vote. I've seen him 2 or 3 times.
Right.
Just to confirm it in my own mind, why wouldn't I pick Kyle Lowry?
A natural bias against a rival as well.
yeah.
You know, not just a guy you don't see often. You just go, I hate that guy because every time we play them, there's always tension.
Hate's a
or whatever.
strong word.
Yeah. Well, you know what I mean.
Yeah, I mean,
Sports
these
is
guys
hate.
tend to be homers because that is their employer.
And there are now, especially with the CBA, huge money wrapped up in some of these All-NBA nods and, of course, winning MVPs and stuff like that. I mean, up to $75, $80 million, extensions or sort of bonuses, if you want to call it that, are on the line here. So that might sway someone's decision for an organization as well, of whether to give a guy an All-NBA nod like Paul George this year
Definitely.
or Gordon Hayward this year with the hopes, that their team is helped to keep them with
There's
the
a
money.
lot of money at stake, and similar with all-star voting, how it's not all fan voting because this stuff is too important for contracts now. Same thing is happening with All-NBA, and it makes sense. Make things even, make it so it's as straightforward as possible. People are getting their votes out.
All right, so those are the
And
NBA.
give us one.
Those are the NBA awards.
There's a lot of free votes now. Give us one.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
The NBA awards, that's much later in June, guys. But the Starties, it's coming up.
These are our votes, Trey.
April 14th, 8 p.m. Eastern here on NBA TV. Hosted once again by Kristen Ledlow, where we hand out our MVP, our Rookie of the Year, our Coach of the Year, and so on. Always a blast.
And we dress up.
Yeah, we do
You
our
want to see us
best.
wear suits?
When we come back, a
Once a year.
supersized edition of Weekend Whoopsies.
Oh, gotta get that dry cleaned.
We asked you which NBA player would be the best at baseball. You hit us up on Twitter, #TheStarters. TK, you got a few of the best answers.
Yeah, some real good answers. This one comes from Jared, who says, I hate to choose the obvious, but of course, Gary Payton, the glove. Makes sense. Roger says Westbrook, because he knows triples and doubles. He'll be very fast on the base path. And Christopher says, I don't know anything about baseball, but LeBron probably still would be amazing at it like every other sport.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen LeBron swing a bat.
No.
It'd be interesting to see.
Yeah, I don't think
He probably is great.
He showed up in that Cubs uniform this year, right?
He could
It
wear a
looked good.
uniform.
he rocked it well. All right, guys, let's get to a day-late edition here of Weekend Whoopsies.
Briante Weber. Sounds like a baseball name. Nice little poke.
Oh!
And then kicks. Splash. That beer. Oh, what a heel kick.
Did he get a free one? Hope he did. Thunder, fast break. Victor Oladipo.
Oh,
Throw
he's
it
gonna
down,
smash
man.
it. Was that a might lay it up, might dunk it?
He just didn't jump.
Yeah.
He just forgot to jump.
Speaking of jumps, it's always great when an NBA player jumps over another NBA player.
Whoa!
Oh!
Jimmy Butler soaring overshooter. That's nice. This one's a weird one. Vucevic trying to throw an interior pass. Instead gets the kind bounce
Look at the touch.
and,
I
2
like
points.
the fist pump there. From
Yeah, he's like, I'll take it.
This is great. Patrick Patterson pranks 3 of his young Raptors teammates by putting post-it notes on their cars. Norman Powell, DeLon Wright, and Fred
looks
Van
awesome,
Vliet.
though.
Look at that Tesla.
Great job, whoever did that.
Yeah, that is really good work.
You don't think he did it?
Nick Stauskas is gonna lose a shoe, but we got basketball to play here, Nick. Get back on D. Yeah, get that shoe out of here. You don't need it. So he tries to man up DeMar DeRozan, and he's just sliding all around.
Vet move.
DeRozan scores. I mean, DeRozan scores on most people with 2 shoes on, so it's not easy, Nick.
Kylo Quinn tries to save this ball off Amir Johnson's face. And
Close range.
it's even more bitter. The ball went to the Celtics because it went off Kylo Quinn.
Doinker of the
He
year,
gave the
perhaps.
thumbs up.
This one's weird. Al Horford gets dunked on, but he does not know that.
Still doesn't know.
Like, he thinks the ball, I guess, just sort of ricocheted around and landed in his hands.
That's the zinger. He dunked it from the sideline.
Al, you gotta take it out, man.
He's like, I made that. Made it. Fine.
Tim Frazier making his way underneath. I don't want this anymore. Nah, take it.
How do you get that 10 rows back from there?
Yeah, looking like Uncle Rico throwing a football over the mountains.
Poor Alvin Gentry.
Same game. Scary moment, guys. We lost Rondo for a little bit.
Uh-oh.
Yep. Tough foul there from Cousins. Rondo out. But here comes Paul Zipser
Okay.
to resuscitate him.
Okay, okay.
Little CPR action here from the Bulls. Come on, Rondo, come back to us. Come back to us. Yeah, he's back.
Only barely.
You don't see this too often. Domantas Sabonis loses it, but he gets 2 points.
Little Butterfingers.
How about that?
There you go.
Oh, nice flip. This is just mean here. Steph Curry being very disrespectful to Gortat. Watch this. Fake.
Oh, at least take him to dinner first, Steph. Wow.
The double pump fake is too good.
We always knew Klay Thompson was a man of few words.
What's been working for you?
I'm glad we included that one.
And we end, whoopsie, sort of like how we started it. This time, Lillard crashing into the front row
Oh, dominoes.
in Minnesota. He actually crashed into Wolves owner Glenn Taylor and his wife.
Eventually.
And a couple
Yeah,
other
here
people.
they go down at the end.
It's like a domino effect here, yeah. Collapses everybody. But everyone was fine. Everyone was okay. I don't even know if beers were
Yeah,
spilled.
no
so we're
beers
good.
spilled at all.
There it is. Weekend whoopsies. Final break here, but when we return, Lely's very solid play. You're watching The Starters, presented by Jack Daniels, Tennessee Honey. On tonight's The Art of the Triple-Double Bones, Brent Barry takes us through some historic accomplishments this season. You can catch it on Game Time later tonight on NBA TV. All right, pick'em results for the month of March. Lee, sorry mate, you lost.
Yeah, tough one.
Your loss is our gain, and you will be doing the pick'em payoff on Wednesday, April 5th. That's tomorrow. Lee has no idea what he's gonna be doing. You're not gonna like it.
You're gonna hate it.
Let's just say that right now.
7 Eastern, you might be okay. 7:30, you won't be.
I can't wait. It's gonna be worse than you in a wetsuit, I'll tell you that. All right, but we got a quick month here, a short month of April. So tonight's pick and play, we're all at zeros. Raptors and Pacers. For some reason, Trey and I are taking the Raps, and 2 other guys taking the Pacers. Lely, VSP.
Yeah, going Sunday to Madison Square Garden. Another one from the Celtics. It fizzes around to Isaiah for a swish bomb. That's what I call a very solid play.
Good stuff. Had a blast on the Twitter show this morning. Talked about a lot of the things that we got into on tonight's show, and Matt let us know that it's a Hug a News Person Day.
Also trending, it's hashtag National Hug a News Person Day.
Oh!
Who are you hugging?
Oh, man. Thank you.
That's nice.
That's a deep hug.
It's a choke. It's a bit of a choke.
No, don't give me a kiss.
He whispered, I'm going to kill you in the pick and payoff tomorrow. Can't wait for tomorrow night's show.
Also, you're a news person?
I know. Yeah, apparently.
All right, thanks for joining us, folks.
I'll update
And
your
remember,
Twitter
the
bio.
starters got sponsored.
Race the night, people.